Chosen. 1. Pause and breathe, because you are not here by accident. Heaven aligned your steps to this moment with precision. The Spirit has pulled you into this message because you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural shift, a divine wealth transfer that has already begun in the unseen. Anointed one. Your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered, and God is positioning you for overflow that no enemy can block. For it is written, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Today, the atmosphere around you changes. Your spirit awakens. Your breakthrough draws near. Chosen one. There is a moment in every destiny where heaven leans in a little closer, where the air around your life thickens with meaning, where the invisible begins to speak louder than the visible. You are standing in that moment now. Nothing about this message found you by coincidence. It came because heaven needed to remind you who you are, what you carry, and why your journey has looked nothing like the people around you. There is a weight on your life, a spiritual voltage, a frequency that has never been random. Even when you felt lost, overlooked, misunderstood, or underestimated, something in the unseen was watching over you with fierce intention. And Anointed one. If you look back honestly, you'll realize something powerful. The things that destroyed others did not destroy you. The betrayal that should have broken you only awakened you. The pain that should have paralyzed you became your training ground. The storms that should have buried you became the winds that lifted you. Anyone else would have folded under what you carried, but you didn't. And that's not because you were stronger than others. It's because you were chosen, chosen one. I need you to hear this with your spirit, not your ears. There has always been a mark on your life. A divine mark, a covenant, a covering, even when you didn't feel holy, even when you didn't feel ready, even when you didn't feel worthy. Something in heaven said, not this one, not like this, not yet. And that is why your story doesn't make sense to people. That is why some people resent you without cause. That is why some tried to sabotage you, and the sabotage fell apart before it could land. That is why certain doors slammed in your face, not to punish you, but to redirect you. That is why some relationships crumbled, not because you failed, but because heaven refused to let the wrong people handle the right destiny. And I know you've wondered why the attacks were so strange, so targeted, so relentless at times. You've asked why the enemy seemed so invested in stopping you. You've asked why your growth triggered jealousy in people who claimed to love you. You've asked why your very presence made others uneasy, intimidated, or unexpectedly hostile. Chosen one. The truth is, simple people could sense something on you long before you ever understood it yourself. They didn't see your calling with their natural eyes. They felt it in their spirit. The light you carry exposes what others try to hide. The peace you radiate agitates the chaos they depend on. The purity in your intentions exposes the impurity in theirs. You didn't need to speak a word. You didn't need to fight. Your very existence became revelation. But here's the deeper truth most never tell you. Being chosen is not glamorous. It is gritty. It is lonely. It is stretching. It is confusing. It is the feeling of walking through fire with invisible hands holding you up. It is knowing you're protected while simultaneously being attacked. It is the tension of being envied for a destiny you didn't even ask for. It's waking up some days, wondering if you're crazy, and going to bed realizing heaven has been guiding your steps all along. Being chosen means carrying contradictions, quiet strength, fierce softness, guarded compassion, unexplainable resilience. You live between worlds, the realm of what is and the realm of what is about to be. And that gap is where your power has always been forged. Anointed One. The truth is this: your survival was not natural, your intuition was not random, your resilience was not learned, it was placed in you. You didn't just rise, you were raised. You didn't just endure, you were preserved. You didn't just make it out, you were escorted out. Heaven carried you when you thought you were walking alone, and that is why now in this very season, everything is shifting around you. You may feel the pressure increasing, but pressure is the final sign that promotion is near. You may feel like the old version of you is dissolving. It is. You may feel like certain doors are closing. They are. You may feel like your spirit is restless. It should be. You're being positioned, restructured, recalibrated, and lifted into a new realm. Chosen One, the financial breakthrough, the supernatural transfer, the divine elevation. It's not coming, it has already begun. Heaven is rearranging things in your favor. People are being moved. Resources are being redirected. Opportunities are aligning. What you lost is returning multiplied. What you cried for is being answered. What you thought was delayed was actually preserved. This is not the season of barely surviving. This is the season of stepping into what was always yours. Chosen One. Before we step deeper, I need you to understand something that most people never discern about their own lives. Regret is a form of revelation. When people regret losing you, mishandling you, or misjudging you, that regret is not about nostalgia. It is about exposure. It means your absence unveiled what your presence was doing all along. And right now, there are people who are only just realizing the weight you carried, the covering you provided, and the elevation that followed you like a shadow. Anointed One. You were never just a person in their lives. You were divine intervention wearing human skin. You were a lifeline, disguised as a friend, a partner, a co-worker, or a relative. Heaven sent you into certain rooms, not because you needed them, but because they needed you. You brought clarity into confusion, peace into chaos, and spiritual insulation into places where darkness had free access. And the saddest part is this: they didn't know. They couldn't see it. Their spiritual blindness kept them from recognizing the blessing in front of them. But heaven is fair. Heaven is just. Heaven allows people to feel the consequences of mishandling what was sent to help them. And that chosen one is why some people are living in quiet regret right now. Not because you failed them, but because they failed the assignment connected to you. I know this may sound harsh, but divine reality is often uncomfortable. When someone mishandles a chosen vessel, they don't just lose a relationship, they lose access to a realm of favor, a realm of direction, a realm of protection. You carried windows, portals, openings into breakthroughs they didn't even have language for. And the moment they disrespected or dismissed you, that opening closed. Not out of revenge, but out of spiritual law. Because heaven does not allow dishonor to coexist with blessing. Chosen One, let me speak from a personal place for a moment. There were seasons where I thought I was the problem. Seasons where people pulled away and I blamed myself. Times where I was excluded, misunderstood, or quietly resented, and I internalized that pain. But when God finally began to open my spiritual eyes, I realized something profound. It wasn't me. It was what I carried. It was the calling on my life. It was the anointing that made people uncomfortable in their own shadows. And the same is true for you. Your light exposed what others weren't ready to confront. Your growth reminded them of their stagnation. Your healing irritated their dependency on brokenness. Your elevation revealed the excuses they'd been hiding behind. You didn't attack them. Your presence confronted them. You weren't the threat. Their ego was. And when someone's ego feels challenged, their first instinct is not to heal, it's to push away the person who made them feel small. But here's the miracle in all of this. Their rejection became your redirection. Their betrayal became your release. Their judgment became your acceleration. God used every wrong turn, every closed door, every painful goodbye to reroute you into a destiny far greater than anything they could have offered. The people who walked away were necessary exits, not losses. The ones who betrayed you were spiritual catalysts, not enemies. The ones who mocked you were unwitting midwives, pushing you into the next dimension of your calling. Anointed one. Do you realize what that means? It means your rise was never dependent on their support. Your breakthrough wasn't tied to their loyalty. Your elevation wasn't anchored to their validation. You were always destined to rise with or without them. And heaven made sure of that. And now this is where the prophetic shift happens. God is not only elevating you, He is making sure the elevation is visible. Your glow is not private. Your breakthrough is not hidden. Your transformation is not silent. There is a reason your blessings are becoming more public. A reason your resilience is becoming more obvious. A reason your clarity is becoming undeniable. God is preparing a table for you in the presence of those who once underestimated you. And not to shame them, but to teach them. Because your life, chosen one, is becoming the sermon they never listened to. You are the lesson they ignored. You are the evidence they dismissed. Your elevation is divine instruction, not a punishment, not revenge, instruction. And while they sit in regret, heaven is pulling you into realms of favor that were blocked before. Financial openings, unexpected opportunities, divinely orchestrated connections, all accelerating because you finally aligned with who you truly are. And this is where the supernatural transfer begins to unfold. When heaven sees that you've detached from what tried to dim you, heaven releases what was always meant to lift you. Chosen one. There is a mystery surrounding your life that even you have only begun to understand. A mystery that explains why certain attacks stopped halfway. Why danger came near but never consumed you. Why spiritual warfare intensified, yet something invisible always intervened at the last moment. You thought it was coincidence. You thought it was luck. You thought you just got through somehow. But anointed one, the truth is far deeper, far heavier, and far more supernatural than you imagined. Even the enemy had to handle you with caution. Hell does not fear everyone. Hell fears the marked ones, the ones with assignment, the ones whose destiny is threaded directly into God's unfolding plan. And whether you knew it or not, you have always been one of those souls. There were seasons where darkness studied you more than it attacked you. Times when the enemy watched your resilience and realized that harming you would not weaken you, it would multiply you. There are some destinies that become more dangerous after persecution. Some anointings that become sharper through suffering. Some callings that activate only when pushed. You, chosen one, are one of those. The devil saw that early. That's why certain attacks never went all the way. That's why some betrayals stopped right before killing your spirit. That's why some environments became unbearable until you left, not because you were weak, but because heaven would not allow hell to gain full access. You were preserved, protected, hidden, insulated, and not by earthly means, by divine restriction. Let me speak truth that many are afraid to say out loud. The enemy understood your value long before you did. He knew that touching you prematurely could trigger your awakening. He knew that breaking you would only prove your unbreakability. He knew that crushing you would activate heaven in ways he could not counter. So instead of trying to destroy you outright, he tried to delay you, to distract you, to weigh you down with emotional warfare and relational chaos, to make you doubt yourself so deeply that you'd never realize the fire inside you. And let's be honest, some of those tactics worked for a while. You questioned your worth. You questioned your purpose. You questioned if the pain was punishment. You questioned if God forgot you. You questioned if you had misheard, misstepped, or misjudged the season you were in. But even in your confusion, something in you refused to break. Something kept burning. Something kept believing. Something kept rising, even when you didn't try to rise. Chosen one, that something was your anointing. You don't earn it. You don't manufacture it. You don't develop it by willpower. It's a spiritual deposit placed in you before time, a divine seed that activates through pressure, a mantle tailor-made for your calling. And that anointing is the reason you are still here. It is the reason every attack had an expiration date. It is the reason hell could observe, but not overtake you. I've lived long enough and I've walked with enough chosen souls to recognize the pattern. The devil doesn't waste heavy warfare on ordinary people. He invests it in those who are pregnant with purpose, and the greater the destiny, the earlier the warfare begins. You weren't just fighting random battles, you were fighting because heaven had chosen you to do something that would shift atmospheres and disrupt darkness. But now, something has changed. You've awakened. And this is the moment the enemy feared. This is what all the interference was designed to prevent, the moment you finally see yourself the way heaven sees you. When a chosen one becomes self-aware, the enemy loses jurisdiction. Because once you know who you are, your prayers become dangerous. Your presence becomes disruptive. Your voice becomes authoritative. Your spirit becomes untouchable. And this is why everything in your life is shifting so suddenly. You're stepping into spiritual clarity. Your intuition is sharper. Your discernment is heightened. You can sense fakeness faster. You know when something is off. You feel when a room isn't meant for you. You recognize when someone's spirit is misaligned. You're not paranoid, you're spiritually awake. And because of that, awakening heaven is now releasing what was held back for your protection. Blessings that were delayed are now being released. Opportunities that were hidden are now surfacing. People who were meant to support you are being positioned. Resources that were tied up are loosening. This is where the supernatural transfer begins, the moment your identity and your destiny finally align. Anointed one, hear this, the delay wasn't denial, it was protection. Heaven was waiting for your awareness to catch up with your assignment, and now that it has, everything accelerates. Chosen one. There comes a season in every divine journey where silence becomes your greatest weapon. Not the silence forced on you by pain, but the silence chosen, the silence heaven uses to rebuild what life tried to strip away. You entered that season without even realizing it. You thought you were withdrawing, you thought you were disappearing, you thought you were losing momentum. But in truth, Anointed One, your silence was your resurrection room. When God begins restoring a chosen soul, He rarely does it in public. Restoration is too sacred for spectators, too holy for the unprepared, too strategic for the wrong eyes. So heaven pulls you inward, removing noise, removing unnecessary people, removing draining environments. And while others assume you've fallen off, heaven knows you're rising in a way that can't be undone. Chosen one, you need to hear this clearly. Your destiny did not die when life broke your heart. Your purpose did not vanish when people betrayed you. Your calling did not weaken when your strength did. What looked like the end was actually the cocoon, tight, dark, isolating, unfamiliar, but necessary. God had to take you out of the places where your wings were judged before they formed. I've lived through seasons where it seemed like everything in my life was shrinking. Influence shrinking, friendships shrinking, opportunities shrinking, confidence shrinking. But when I looked back, I understood something heaven has been doing with chosen people since the beginning of time. God shrinks your world before he expands your territory, not to punish you, but to reposition you. Too much noise around a chosen one makes it hard to hear heaven's strategies. You, anointed one, were not losing. You were being focused. You were being narrowed. You were being fine-tuned for a level only a refined version of you could handle. And while you were in that sacred silence, something incredible happened. Your destiny started breathing again. The part of you that had been suffocating under expectations finally exhaled. The dreams you buried began pushing toward the surface. The purpose that trauma tried to smother began flickering back to life. Heaven resurrected you from the inside out, quietly, tenderly, powerfully. Meanwhile, the people who assumed you were finished were unknowingly watching a miracle unfold. They didn't see the prayers you whispered. They didn't feel the nights you spent wrestling with God. They didn't witness the spiritual surgery happening in your soul. They saw absence, but heaven saw transformation. And now something even more supernatural is taking place. The doors that once rejected you are beginning to shift in your favor. Not because you forced them, not because you begged, not because you compromised who you are, but because resurrection carries authority. When God breathes on a destiny, no earthly structure can deny it. Chosen one, have you noticed the change? How rooms that once felt heavy now feel too small. How environments that once held you no longer fit your spirit. How people who once intimidated you now seem spiritually fragile. That's not ego, that's elevation. You are rising above the frequency of your past. You are stepping into the identity you were always meant to embody, and when a chosen one rises, the atmosphere responds. Opportunities begin to chase you, favor begins to locate you, provision begins to align, supernatural acceleration begins to unfold in the background. This is why heaven kept you hidden for a time, because public resurrection without private refinement becomes destruction. But now that the refining is complete, your resurrection is becoming visible. Those who misjudged you will see it. Those who dismissed you will witness it. Those who tried to bury you will inadvertently become the audience for your unveiling. Anointed one, this next stretch of your journey won't require the same level of labor. Your role now is alignment, not striving. Your posture now is receptivity, not desperation. Your spirit is tuned. Your identity is awake. Your path is prepared. Chosen one. As you begin to step out of that sacred silence, something powerful is happening around you. The atmosphere is reacting to your awakening. Your glow is changing. Your presence is heavier. Your spirit is louder. And those shifts are not imaginary. They are spiritual signals that heaven is positioning you for a realm of elevation that can no longer be delayed. Anointed one. Your rise is stirring the environment in ways you may not fully understand yet. Darkness is uneasy. People with hidden motives are uncomfortable. Old cycles are collapsing. And those who once underestimated you can sense something they never expected. You are no longer who you were the last time they had access to you. Elevation has a sound in the spirit, and yours is echoing. The truth is this: when God decides to lift a chosen one, the entire spiritual realm adjusts. Angels shift. Assignments move. Opportunities begin aligning with divine timing. And just as light attracts what is meant for it, it also exposes what was never meant to stay. You might notice that some people are suddenly nervous around you, quieter than usual, or acting strangely. It isn't your imagination. Your glow is confronting their shadows. Your healing is challenging their unhealed places. Your clarity disrupts their confusion. Your breakthrough is making their stagnation uncomfortable. This is not because you're doing anything wrong, it's because you're doing everything right. Chosen. One elevation always reveals hearts, and those who once laughed, mocked, or competed with you are now feeling a weight they can't explain, not jealousy alone, but conviction. They are being confronted not by your words, but by your transformation. You have become the version of yourself they hoped would never appear. I want you to understand something deeply. Your elevation is not triggered by applause. It is triggered by alignment. The more you align with your spirit, the more heaven releases what was stored for your future. This is where the supernatural begins to manifest in the tangible realm. Financial opportunities that once seemed blocked or delayed will suddenly appear. Resources that felt out of reach will begin seeking you. Unexpected provision will show up from directions you never anticipated. This is not luck. It is a prophetic shift entering your material world. And if you think this is an exaggeration, let me speak from my own life. There were seasons where everything looked barren: finances, tight opportunities, dry connections, unstable. It seemed like I was working tirelessly with little return. But the moment I aligned my spirit with the truth of who I was, the moment I released old burdens, the moment I surrendered my timeline to divine timing, heaven moved. Doors opened, networks expanded, ideas flowed, and provision came through channels I didn't even know existed. This is how heaven works with chosen ones. God does not bless you according to earthly logic. He blesses you according to spiritual position. And right now, you are standing in the perfect position for supernatural transfer. Chosen one. It's important that you don't shrink back in this season. Your glow is not a coincidence. Your elevation is not accidental. The heaviness you feel is not depression, it's expansion. You're outgrowing past versions of yourself. You're shedding identities that no longer fit your calling. You're stepping into a frequency where lack cannot survive. And yes, this shift will agitate people who once felt comfortable keeping you small. Some will distance themselves because your growth convicts them. Others will gossip because your abundance reminds them of what they refuse to cultivate. A few will pretend not to notice, but their eyes will say everything. But listen closely, none of this should intimidate you. It should confirm you. Light always reveals what darkness hides. Your assignment now is not to fight for approval, not to explain your elevation, not to justify your glow. Your assignment is to stay aligned with where heaven is taking you, because the financial flow preparing to enter your life is not ordinary. It is not temporary. It is not unstable. It is supernatural increase, the kind that comes when destiny and obedience collide. You may feel it already, an inner stretching, a quiet preparation, a sense that life as you know it is about to upgrade. That sensation is not anxiety. It is your spirit recognizing that the next chapter has already begun. Chosen one, step into this truth with your whole spirit. Your elevation is no longer hidden. Heaven has shifted the spotlight onto your life, and what was once developing in silence is now beginning to manifest in full view. This is not coincidence. This is not random timing. This is divine unveiling, the moment where God decides the world must see what He has been shaping behind the scenes. Anointed one, your glow is not subtle anymore. It is visible, undeniable, and spiritually charged. And the reason it feels so intense is because you've entered a season where heaven is magnifying everything connected to your assignment. Your confidence is clearer, your voice is stronger, your discernment is sharper, your spirit is louder. You are walking in a version of yourself that was always inside you, but life had to break, refine, and resurrect you in order for it to emerge. And now that it has, the elevation is becoming public. Have you noticed how certain doors are opening without the usual struggle? How opportunities seem to recognize you before you even introduce yourself? How divine connections are arriving effortlessly? This is what happens when heaven endorses you. When God decides it is your time, no earthly gatekeeper can deny you access. You spent years fighting doors that weren't meant for you. This time the doors are opening because they were built for you. Chosen one. Let me be transparent for a moment. I've walked through seasons where I was pushing, grinding, striving, trying desperately to force opportunities. But nothing moved, nothing unfolded, nothing broke open. And for a long time I thought I was doing something wrong. But later, I understood heaven wasn't saying no. Heaven was saying not yet. Heaven needed me aligned, healed, positioned, and spiritually matured before the blessing could rest on me safely. And the same is true for you. Your elevation is unfolding now because you're finally aligned with the identity heaven placed on your life, long before you were conscious of it. You are no longer shrinking to fit into small rooms. You are no longer dimming your light to make others comfortable. You are no longer questioning whether your intuition is valid. You are no longer apologizing for your spiritual sensitivity. You are stepping into your full self, the self God always intended. And that chosen one is why heaven has made your elevation visible. But understand, this visibility is not vanity. Visibility is assignment. God is making you visible because your life is becoming a testimony, a warning, a message, a blueprint. Some will be inspired by your rise. Some will be convicted by it. Some will be humbled. Others will be awakened. And a few will be exposed. Elevation does all of that at once. And don't be surprised when you see certain people drifting further away right now. Your glow is revealing their intentions. Your strength is exposing their weakness. Your progress is showing you who was truly for you and who was simply comfortable with your stagnation. This is not loss. This is clarity. Chosen one. This public elevation is not only spiritual, it is financial. Heaven is releasing provision that was once delayed. Not because you weren't worthy, but because the version of you receiving it now is responsible, grounded, discerning, and aligned. The supernatural transfer that has been hovering over your life is beginning to take form. Expect financial favor that doesn't make sense. Expect unexpected approvals. Expect divine acceleration in areas where you once experienced endless delay. You are not stepping into abundance. Abundance is stepping into you. Chosen one, as we move deeper into this prophetic unfolding, you need to understand something essential. Nothing about your elevation is random. Nothing about this sudden acceleration is accidental. Heaven has been orchestrating this moment with precision, protecting it, guarding it, and preparing you for it long before you even knew such a season existed. What is happening now is not just breakthrough, it is fulfillment. It is divine timing finally catching up to your destiny, anointed one. There is a reason heaven withheld certain blessings from you in earlier chapters of your life, not because you were unworthy, not because you lacked faith, not because you weren't praying enough, but because heaven was waiting for the version of you who could carry the weight of the promise without collapsing under it. God never gives a chosen one something that will crush them. He waits until the blessing becomes compatible with their identity. And look at you now, stronger, sharper, more discerning, more rooted, more surrendered. You are not who you were 5 years ago. You are not who you were last year. You're not even who you were 6 months ago. Your evolution has been deep, internal, and sacred, and heaven has responded to that evolution with release. Chosen one. Heaven is releasing what was once restrained. There were blessings hovering over your life that angels held back because you weren't ready for the warfare that came with them. There were opportunities that could have destroyed your confidence had they come too soon. There were financial doors that would have been sabotaged if opened while you still had the wrong people around you. Heaven wasn't punishing you. Heaven was protecting you. You prayed for elevation. Heaven gave you development. You prayed for increase. Heaven gave you capacity. You prayed for promotion. Heaven gave you identity. And now, because you passed those hidden tests, the realms that were once closed are swinging open without resistance. This is why the shift feels so sudden. It's why breakthroughs are appearing out of nowhere. It's why opportunities are coming from unexpected sources. Heaven has hit release, and nothing can stop what is unfolding. But with this release comes something even more profound: understanding. You're beginning to see why certain connections had to end, why certain people betrayed you, why certain environments expelled you, why certain jobs fell apart, why certain relationships dissolved. These weren't failures, they were divine exits. Heaven was removing what could not coexist with your next level. Anointed one, let me speak from a place of honesty. I too struggled with this understanding. I questioned why so much loss had to come before increase, why God allowed certain heartbreaks, why He let people I trusted walk away. But with time, I realized something: God removes what you won't, so He can bless you where you can't. Some people were not meant to witness your elevation. Others would have drained your blessing, and a few would have sabotaged the very thing you were born to carry. So heaven separated you to elevate you. And now the elevation is not just spiritual, it is also financial. You are stepping into a season where lack cannot breathe, where doors of provision open before you knock, where favor begins locating your name in places you have never been. This is the supernatural transfer long promised, not a vague idea, but a tangible shift. Heaven is aligning you with resources you once thought were out of reach. God is giving you access to opportunities that were previously locked. You are entering a realm where money flows differently, where provision appears prophetically, where increase becomes normal, not miraculous. This is why warfare increased before this moment. The enemy sensed your breakthrough long before you did. Darkness tried to break you because it could not stop what was coming. And still here, you are not broken, but built. Not diminished, but expanded. Not defeated, but transformed. Chosen one. Your elevation is unstoppable because heaven has sealed it. Not even the devil can interfere with what God has marked for your hands. You are not stepping into blessings, you are stepping into inheritance. This is your appointed time, your ordained moment, your prepared season. Chosen one, as we enter this final stretch of the message, I need you to open your spirit wide, because what heaven is placing on your life now is not just blessing, not just breakthrough, not just restoration. It is authority, a mantle, a spiritual weight that distinguishes the called from the chosen, the awakened from the anointed, the prepared from the preordained. You are stepping into a realm where your very presence carries impact, your words carry shift, and your spirit carries recognition in the unseen. Anointed one. Everything you've endured up to this point was preparing you to hold this mantle without collapsing under it. Heaven has been shaping you, pruning you, refining you, and stretching you until you could stand in your divine identity without fear, insecurity, or hesitation. And now, as this mantle descends upon your life, you are becoming someone who not only receives breakthrough, but releases breakthrough. Someone who not only experiences elevation, but carries an atmosphere of elevation wherever they go. This is not a small thing. This is not symbolic. This is spiritual governance. Chosen one. Heaven has chosen you to stand in a role that requires clarity, strength, humility, and obedience. Not because you are perfect, but because you are trusted. You have responded to pain with growth. You have responded to betrayal with wisdom. You have responded to silence with surrender. You have responded to loss with expansion. Heaven watched your reactions, your choices, your heart posture, your prayers, your resilience, and determined that you could carry more. This mantle is proof that you did not break. You transformed. And now, because of that transformation, your steps carry a different kind of authority. When you walk into a room, the environment will shift. When you speak, even casually, people will feel something stir. When you pray, the atmosphere will respond immediately. When you make decisions, heaven will back you up with a force that overrides delay. When you move in faith, doors will open as though they were waiting for your footsteps. This mantle is not quiet. It is not subtle. It announces itself. Chosen one. This is why some people will distance themselves, not out of hatred, but because they cannot understand the new gravity on your life. The mantle exposes intentions, it reveals motives, it divides the genuine from the opportunistic. You are not intimidating because you are loud. You are intimidating because you are spiritually fortified. People feel the difference. Some will be drawn. Others will withdraw, but every response will reveal alignment. And this is where your next phase begins. You are being positioned not only to receive supernatural transfer, but to steward it. Heaven is not giving you wealth for comfort alone. Heaven is giving you influence, visibility, access, strategy, wisdom. You are entering a realm where your decisions will bless others, where your obedience will open doors for those connected to you, where your elevation will become a catalyst for many. Anointed one. The financial increase coming to your life is not simply provision, it is placement. God is placing you in environments where your presence is needed, your insight is invaluable, and your spiritual authority is recognized, even without introduction. You will find yourself in conversations you never expected, opportunities you never sought, and circles you once felt too small for. And you will realize that heaven did not elevate you randomly. Heaven elevated you strategically. This mantle is not about money, it's about mission, and you are ready for it because your character has been forged in silence. You have learned when to speak and when to stay still. You have learned how to discern spirits beneath smiles. You have learned how to stand alone without weakening. You have learned the value of obedience over applause, alignment over ambition, peace over chaos, and truth over performance. Heaven can trust you because you do not seek power, you seek purpose. Chosen one, hear this deeply. You are about to become a carrier of divine influence. Your presence will open doors for people who could not access them alone. Your words will free people from cycles they could not escape. Your abundance will uplift others into stability. Your example will teach others that survival is not the end, transformation is. You are stepping into an identity that makes your past versions look like shadows of who you were destined to become. And as this mantle settles on your life, heaven wants you to remember one thing: this is only the beginning. You have reached a peak, but not the peak. You have entered greatness, but not the fullness. You have stepped into purpose, but not the conclusion. Heaven is not finishing something, heaven is initiating something. This season is the opening ceremony of your assignment. And yes, people who mishandled you will feel regret on a level they cannot put into words. Not because you seek revenge, but because they will see the truth. You are not ordinary. You are not replaceable. You are not temporary. You are divine alignment, and they broke it. But even that serves heaven's purpose. Their regret becomes their revelation, and your rise becomes your validation. Chosen one, lift your head, straighten your shoulders, align your spirit. The mantle is here, authority is here, purpose is here, transfer is here. You are not stepping into blessing, you are stepping into identity, and the world is about to see exactly who you are. Chosen one. As this message comes to a close, breathe deeply, because the same spirit that guided you here is still resting on you now. You are not leaving this moment empty. You are leaving marked, affirmed, and repositioned. The supernatural transfer has already begun, and heaven is aligning every step before you with precision. Nothing about this season is random. You have stepped into your Kairos moment, your divinely appointed time, and the evidence of it will follow you. Anointed one, may your spirit remain open. May your faith stay anchored. May your discernment stay sharp. What God is releasing over your life is not fragile. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be sabotaged. It cannot be delayed. Heaven is preparing paths. You have not yet walked rooms. You have not yet entered. And blessings you have not yet imagined. Walk forward with reverence, confidence, and expectation. Your glow is not temporary. Your favor is not seasonal. Your rise is not accidental. It is ordained. And as you step out of this video, may the peace of God cover you like a mantle. May clarity flood your thoughts. May provision meet your needs before you speak them. May divine helpers locate you. May every wrong voice fall silent. May every closed door be replaced with a better one. You are protected, you are guided, you are surrounded, and you are moving into everything heaven whispered over your life long before you ever understood it. If this word stirred your spirit, chosen one, feel free to share your testimony in the comments, or stay connected with this family of believers who walk by faith and see the unseen. But above all, hold this truth close. You are in your moment, and what's coming next will not just bless you, it will confirm you. Go in grace, go in strength, and go knowing heaven has gone before you. God bless you.